Ghost Recon Breakpoint is one of the worst games I have played in my life. Here's the truth behind this game. There is no game. In 2019, that's even worse than before. There's none. I have to say that even Anthem is better than the sack of unpolished dog crap. You know what's funny? Video Games 24/7 agrees with me, and they gave the game a 20 out of 100. I was actually going to do a review on Breakpoint, but I'd rather just rant about it, and maybe talk about the things that make it bad too, so like, maybe it's like a rant review? I don't know. I guess I wrote this down, so I guess that's at least a step up from my other rants. Yeah, let's do it. I'd probably give it a 22, honestly. A 22. A 20, TOO. Not only is Breakpoint worse than any game this year, this could be one of the greatest, I use this word lightly, heresies in gaming history. It is heretical that Ghost Recon Breakpoint is allowed to exist. It's heretical that a game like Ghost Recon Breakpoint is allowed to exist. I had an absolute war on Twitter with these two Ghost Recon fanboys. One of them was much nicer than the other, and we had a good conversation that ended up with him telling me information that I didn't know of. That Ubisoft took out the skill up microtransactions, so I appreciated that the Twitter user at least informed me of that, so I would be more informed when I go in to absolutely slam this game. I actually found out through a strange series of events that Ubisoft said the microtransactions for skill up were an accident. Ubisoft. Shut up, Ubisoft. You know you put them in there on purpose so that you would gain the attention, so that then your game could sell double from the attention that you got. And then so you could be like, oh, I'm sorry, we accidentally put them in, but we're going to get in the gamers' good graces by removing them. Yeah, that's how it works. There was this other Ghost Recon fanboy who was even more of a Ghost Recon fanboy, and here is his message on screen. It's the blatant fanboying, the blatant Ghost Recon can never be a bad game. Ghost Recon can't. No, it's Ghost Recon. It's Ghost Recon, the series that has been around for 20 bajillion million years. Do you understand, Ubisoft? No, you don't. Because people who are casuals sitting around playing their games don't care about this stuff. And that's the blatant truth of it, is that casuals don't care. And it's only the people who really care that are going to speak out. And I care, so I'm going to speak out. Here we go. Ghost Recon Breakpoint, just like Call of Duty Modern Warfare, is another lackluster AAA attempt to make a game. Not only are the microtransactions just, they add up to what is basically an entirely new video game. And you could add another, like, AA video game on top of it. Ghost Recon has lost all semblance of attempting to even be a video game. Breakpoint's microtransactions make Modern Warfare look like a masterpiece. It makes Activision look like a heavenly deity. At least Modern Warfare has more than one multiplayer mode, because Ghost Recon has one PvP mode. I'm ready to tell the honest truth about what I believe. The gaming industry is, as I've said, like, I think four times in the past 2 weeks, that the gaming industry is at the worst place it's ever been. Countless YouTubers have been reflecting this statement, and the YouTubers that are left that are covering Breakpoint are echoing the same sentiment. Ghost Recon is, at this point, a glorified microtransaction shop with a shooter shoved in there just for fun, just so Ubisoft can be like, hey, you'll press a few buttons, you'll press a few, I mean, like, not that many buttons, but like, you'll at least get into a car and drive an entire kilometer in a car that only goes like 60 miles per hour, but hey, at least you get to wander around in an uninspired world that has nothing in it, except for a few people buy cars every once in a while. I'm not just going to talk about the microtransactions, though. Let's just take a couple of minutes, reel back, and let's talk calmly about the game. I said the exact same thing about Wildlands when it came out. I didn't review or talk about Wildlands because I wasn't doing coverage, but it's the same story with Breakpoint. The game is so unbelievably, unbearably boring. I'm just looking at the gameplay I recorded, which is on screen, and I'm looking back and I am like, how did I ever enjoy this? Did I actually like this? I think I had this sort of revelation moment. Since Call of Duty had gone off the radar that same week, I was in this moment where I was looking to find something that could fill the gap, in a sense. And I think I let that gap of shooter influence my opinion, because there are no shooters out, and I'm on the search for a shooter, and there was nothing like Call of Duty. And so I was like, okay, Breakpoint, sort of, kind of, a little bit modern, a little bit futuristic, a little bit modern. Looking back on just looking back on that footage, holy crap. I will never understand how I even remotely found enjoyment in the game. The game's open world, as I've said already, is absolute total garbage. The game is uninspired. The gameplay is uninspired. It plays like a freaking... It plays like a pile of molasses that was put into a slightly faster hamster wheel. At best, the game is good looking, but I can honestly say the same thing about my Link's Awakening amiibo. Enjoying Breakpoint is, in any capacity, is like enjoying playing a game on the Xbox One. Both of them are unenjoyable experiences. Breakpoint actually reminds me of the first time I played Anthem, but I'd still rather play Anthem than Breakpoint. Both of the games are on the same technical level, though. The frame rates are unbelievably trash, and the gameplay loop is just... I'm losing my words over this. The gameplay loop is just so hopelessly uninspired. But you know what? I'm able to compare both of the games, because Ghost Recon is a freaking looter shooter now. That's what's still blowing my mind. You know what I think? I think from now on, I'm going to play a game with myself, okay? I'm going to play a game where I see how many gameplay aspects from different Ubisoft games can come into their other games. And I'm going to make these meme videos where I envision the types of gameplay that can be added to each of their games. Because Ubisoft just can't make one type of game. No. They can't just make a tactical first-person shooter like Rainbow Six. No. They have to add in where you can buy operators. They have to add in microtransactions. They have to add in loot boxes. All this stuff. Rainbow Six is the closest thing they're ever going to come to getting a game that's at least inspired at the best. When Roller Champions comes out, a game I genuinely enjoyed playing, actually, are they gonna let you buy new rollerblades that give you a distinct gameplay advantage? You could do that in Breakpoint. You can't do it in Breakpoint anymore. But Ubisoft, you could. And taking them out doesn't change the fact that you had them in there. And do not give us the bullcrap that it was an accident. Every single person watching Breakpoint videos knows. And I know I'm going to get more dislikes than the other YouTubers who have been established as people who do videos like this. You can do that in Breakpoint. You can buy items to progress yourself in Breakpoint. You could. You can. Oh, what's the difference? I don't think there is a difference. You can argue with me if there's a difference. I don't think there's a difference between can and could in regards to trash like this. When Rainbow Six Quarantine comes out, the zombie Rainbow Six, who knows what it's going to be. Are they going to let you buy armor with real money to protect yourself? You could do that in Breakpoint. You can do that in Breakpoint. You could. Again, oh, there's a big difference. Oh, Gladys, it's not available anymore. Ghost Recon's a good game. Yeah. When the next Assassin's Creed comes out, are they going to let you buy a horse with real money that lets you travel at light speed? I think you get the freaking point. From the very first day I started this game coverage thing, I've seen a significant spike in my interaction with videos. In the interaction with my videos, sorry. I'm not trying to make this about getting views, because I think it's pretty clear by the reaction to my Modern Warfare video. I don't really care what people think that about what I say. I want to give each person, however many who watches my videos, the information they need to understand what they're getting into. When you look at a game like Ghost Recon Breakpoint, you think, oh, I'm going to get into this nice tactical experience. No, you're not. You're buying a microtransaction store, my friend. Ghost Recon Breakpoint proves for about the umpteenth time this year that AAA gaming has devolved into an utter joke. Let's just for a quick moment take another step back and just chill with each other and recap all of the games we've seen this year which were utter crap, or in my opinion massively disappointing, or have since then gone to more utter crap. Anthem, Far Cry New Dawn, The Division 2, Generation Zero, Days Gone, Rage 2, Dauntless, Layers of Fear 2, Cube World, Rogue Heist, The Blackout Club, Fallout 76. Now how about we look at the games in 2019 that have actually been good? Resident Evil 2, Mario Maker 2, Greedfall, Apex Legends. 4 games. I think you'll notice the difference in size between those two lists. I know this is my opinion, but I want to repeat that this is my opinion. But The Division 2 was actually really good. Yeah, it launched good. Games now either launch horribly and people will be like, I love the way Jim Sterling puts it. He always says that this roadmap is possibly the worst thing that has been introduced into the AAA live service industry. And I love how he always makes fun of the live service model, because so many games get it wrong. Nobody actually knows how to do live service, and every single AAA company is just scrambling to understand how to do live service. And meanwhile, Destiny and Bungie are over here being independent and getting 200,000 concurrent viewers because they are doing it right. And every other AAA company is like, Bungie? Who's that? They were the guys who were with Activision who made Call of Duty the better game. No. The opposite happened to The Division 2. It launched quite well, but it was severely lacking in the end game of year 1. It is crazy how quickly the game fell off the map. I haven't heard anything about The Division 2. Everything's about Destiny now because Destiny's doing it right. You could honestly say every game falls off the map. You could say that. Only the best games really keep their audiences, and those are the games that matter. And it is my personal opinion that your time is going to be wasted by Ghost Recon Breakpoint. And I'm not going to come in here and tell you don't buy the game, because if you have $60 to spare, or $100, or $120, I'd like to pose to you that there are many better games that deserve your time. If you don't buy it. That's your choice. It is my opinion that there are many, many games that deserve more of your time. You could buy The Witcher 3 Complete Edition like 5 times over. You could go onto Steam and search up some indie games or some really low-priced games or some like AA games, Greedfall, that will actually give money to developers who actually give two craps about you, the consumer. And at the beginning of this year when The Division 2 launched, I thought Ubisoft was going to be one of those developers. I thought, hey man, they're starting to change. They're starting to see stuff. Because like Ubisoft has generally been seen as the better company when it comes to developing video games. Guess what? You're funny for thinking that. You're very funny for thinking that, aren't you? I was deep into The Division 2, and I played it for a week straight until Sekiro came out. I died in Sekiro, then died more, and proceeded to die more. Then I came back to The Division 2, realizing I had personally lost interest. The game's endgame was lacking. People were saying that year one content was very, very, very lackluster. I did enjoy my time with the game nonetheless, and despite that endgame being lacking, I think that despite my short time in the game, I do believe it was actually worth my $60, and I can actually respect that I gave $60 to the people who cared to make that game as good as it was. But then 7 months later, a free-to-play looter shooter came out. That was better, called Destiny 2. But my world was brought back down to reality when I came to the realization that Breakpoint's horrendous, unbelievable microtransactions were a truly, utter revelation of what the gaming industry has become. Here's what I wrote down. I can respect that Ubisoft removed the skill at microtransactions. No, I redact that. Ubisoft, you removed them because you're too much of cowards to admit that you were selling Breakpoint as a means to give yourselves more microtransaction revenue. You know it. The fact that they were in there in the first place puts an irremovable tainted mar on the game's reputation. And holy crap, don't even get me started on the freaking Metacritic reviews, which have tanked to a 57 by critics. But listen to this. The critics aren't the ones that are ragging this game. It is a 2.6 out of 10 by users. This is honestly the closest I've seen users and critics on a video game since Anthem. And Anthem had a very similar, I think it was at a 40 something and a 2 or something by users. So yeah, this is another situation where a game has launched at the same technical and gameplay level as Anthem. Imagine that. Imagine a Ghost Recon game being on the same level as Anthem. Wow. Most people honestly will say that the low reviews are just microtransactions reviews. And yeah, I did scour most of the reviews, and yeah, the sentiment was true at times. But most of the reviews I actually saw were coupled with the horrendous microtransactions and the generally broken and incomplete game that is Ghost Recon Breakpoint, which is I'll talk about that later. The broken game Breakpoint has hilariously broken AI. This clip by operator Drewski, which is about 37 seconds long, just about sums up everything you need to know about Ghost Recon Breakpoint. One of the game's horrendously ugly AIs is just tattered and destroyed, with the tweet lovingly titled Ghost Recon Breakpoint at its breakpoint. I said that I went to war with Breakpoint fans on Twitter, but the blatant defenders of this broken, diminishing franchise absolutely lashed out at Drewski, who has been berating the game with hilariously awful clips, which have been very entertaining for me, showing the absolutely broken state of Breakpoint. And you know what? I was going to say it, I'm going to say it now. I think there is a hilarious irony to the name of Ghost Recon Breakpoint. The fact that it is, as recorded by one Twitter user, quote, Ghost Recon Broken Point, end quote. Here are just a few of the hilarious defensives that people commented on this post. This first one, I couldn't tell if it was sarcastic or not, but someone just said something that summarizes the Ghost Recon Breakpoint fanboys. Quote, this game is going to be so good, end quote. Quote, better than spending countless hours getting gear in a single elim game just for a dev to wipe it. Again, LMAO, end quote. Of course, he's referring to Escape from Tarkov, a game that outweighs Breakpoint by about a metric 20,000 light years, with gameplay systems that are actually working, and actually zero microtransactions as far as I've seen. Quote, LMAO, even with the bugs, I still enjoy the game. People expect a game to be perfect every time. Skyrim was buggy AF, but was still a blast to play, end quote. It's funny this person uses Skyrim, because Skyrim was fun because it actually had a story and characters that actually worked. Just saying. It's actually hilarious how many game-breaking bugs that gamers have found. One of my personal favorite YouTubers, Big Fry TV, has been covering this game and introduced me to the cesspool that is the Ghost Recon subreddit. This is where the fanboys belong. But actually, people are destroying the game in the Reddit. It's funny. Now I see that I was right. The fanboys of Breakpoint are the few that will reply to you in an instant to berate any notion that Breakpoint is a bad game. I want to say to anyone who enjoys this game, so be it. To the people who are defying Ubisoft's horrendous use of microtransactions and the broken, tainted gameplay with the shoveled-in looter-shooter mechanics, once again, you are the reason that hopefully one day the gaming industry will be good. Can I see it happening? Do you? Does anyone? No? Okay. If I have to be honest, no. Because it's Ghost Recon, because it's AAA trash Ubisoft, it's going to sell great. And the gaming industry is going to forget about the microtransactions. Modern Warfare is going to come out. People are going to forget that the game had 1 year exclusivity to PS trash. Thank you for listening, Breakpoint. You're the reason gaming is at its breaking point.